Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. And yes, we are back in Raid Shadow Legends. I'm really enjoying the game, and if you want to pick up the game, go to the link in the description or the pinned comment and you get 50k silver as well as an epic champion for those that are freshly starting off in the game. The astute among you will notice I've got to level 20 as well as unlocked certain features like the market, the sparring pit, and as well the ability to create clans. Oh, and by the way, if anybody wants to join my newly created clan, it is Frank's Terror Troop. The tag is FTT1. That's FTT1. Frank's Terror Troop. This is the point that I'm really excited. Raid gave me a little bit of a boost and hopefully we're going to open up the first legendary champion. So let's do this. Based on the amount of silver, we'll be able to do 10 of the ancient shards and then just have enough in order to do 4 of the sacred shards. So like I said, hopefully getting that first legendary. Maybe they're for epics, that's still good champions are going to be really helpful. But for those that want those sacred shards and want to open it themselves, if you get to level 60, you get to have one of these. And if you remember to log in daily from the 30-day calendar, from the 90-day calendar, there's availability to pick up some of these as well. There's also special packs available in the shop as well, but let's get into the opening. Now, prior to recording this video, I did do a sacred shard and picked up a gold grab for my trouble. I just want to showcase something that I think is absolutely amazing. I already like the kind of like the undead look to this particular champion, but it was one skill in particular called Animate, which I thought was pretty darn cool. Revives any dead allies with 25% HP, then heals all allies for 25%. Now that's pretty cool. You're in the middle of battle and you're able to revive. I've played other games that don't even have this type of mechanic in, so I was pretty stoked when I saw this, and I will showcase some of this in the rest of the video. But let's again try and do the opening. Now I've built the hype a bit too much, so without further ado, let's just smash open these 10. Fingers crossed for epics and legendaries. So these are the first one, just standard. We want to see pinkish. We got a pinkish. We got a Jarek, and oh, well, didn't really get what we wanted to see, but still we picked up an epic, and that is the positive thing, and hopefully it's a case we can utilize some of these others. These rare ones are still going to be helpful. Wow, look at this monstrosity. Let's just have a quick look at the reviews and see what other players think about this. So they say positive against campaign locations, a good clan boss, and in particular arena defense, and Dragon Lair, Arena Offensive, Minotaur's Labyrinth, Void Keep. So people really rate this guy quite high, so hey, that's pretty cool. Recommended artifacts to use this, so that's like your armor. Seems to be very much on accuracy and life, so that may be how I'll be structuring this particular champion. Now let's push for this legendary. I really want one, but an epic's still good enough, so what's going to be the first one? It's gone pinkish. So yeah, Hope. Hope seems to be very much a utility-based champion, especially when we look at things like attacks one enemy has a 15% chance of placing a block buff. Now that is pretty important, especially if the enemy is getting lots of buffs, and some of the enemy bosses I've gone off against have had a lot of buffs, so it's good to kind of suppress that if possible. And some other things as well that's going to be helpful: increase the duration of buffs on all allies by 1 turn, and you know, if you've got something pretty beneficial, then it's going to be quite important to keep it on. So it's going to be cool to experiment. Let's continue on. Legendary, come on. It's pink, it's pinkish, and we've got a Wold Painted. Now, that's a pretty cool, a pretty out there name. We'll have a look at these characters and these champions a bit more in a moment. Let's continue on. That was a Barbarian. Come on, legendary. Is it going to go? No, it's going to be an epic. And a Rain Beast, or Rain Beast. I don't know if I'm saying that particularly right. We'll have a look at this a little bit more detail in a moment, but still looks like a lot of people have this character and is rated pretty highly as well. Not good as a clan boss, it seems, by people's expectations, and not well suited for the Spider Den, but the arena defense and champion locations, campaign locations, that seems pretty good. So let's continue on. The final one. Could this be epic, or could this be legendary? It looks like it's going to be an epic, but it's still cool. It's still important that we've increased our champions. Not many people have this to review it, and it's rated quite badly. But still, an epic is an epic, and there seems to be some very good champions I've got out of these particular shard openings to benefit my champion roster going into new campaigns I'm going to face off against. It's now a few hours later. I've put another 3 levels onto my account, pushing for a 4th level. And also I've been pushing as well the campaign. I've got up to the 11th mission, so that's the Hallowed Halls, and I'm really excited with my progress, but in particular my units. Which, as you can see, I've got 4 characters that are really pushing that level 40 mark, and I've ascended my Rhyme Beast. I've made him kind of a lead character. I'm going to talk about them more in a moment, but I'm going to go over 13 features which I think are really important for new players. The first feature that is really important is completing missions to a 3-star standard, and this is because it all adds up, as you can see here. Beneficial stuff to your progression, gems, silver, even void shards. So it is there, and it is really important to complete up to 3-star standard. Number 2 is events. Here in the Bastion, in the top right hand corner, you'll see events. In the events section, there is going to be helpful things for you to work on in order to get really decent stuff. For example, at the moment it's champion training event, and it is really easy to pick up at least a couple of these things, but if you work hard on your progression, then it will mean that you'll be able to pick up some good stuff. Whether or not it's offensive based artifacts or artifacts in general, other types of champions, and as well getting these rank 3 chickens, which again all adds up to further progression of champions and of just general resources that you'll need. The third brilliant feature is the sparring pit. Yes, a place that you can level up champions with very minimal effort. You put them in, they level up, we don't really have to focus on them too much, which can be really helpful if you want to build them quickly, but at the same time you're like, well, I need to focus on this other team, so put it in the sparring pit. You can choose to unlock at least 5 slots and also upgrade them, so the effectiveness of leveling up champions is improved. The fourth thing is new player rewards, especially because it's a decent referral program, which if you work hard with your fellow person you've referred, then you're going to pick up some great stuff by leveling up, but also not to mention by new player rewards. This is going to be the second week of constant logging in that I'm going to be able to pick up a full amount of decent artifacts, and also not to mention the fact that 2 new epic champions. One I've already got in, which is an Orc, and also this one here, which if I keep logging in, then I'm going to pick up this particular Jizzo here, and that's going to be great. The fifth amazing feature is the Tavern. In the Tavern, this is the place where you level up your champions, upgrade them, as well as ascend them and improve their skills. I'll give you an example. So I'll just put Hope in, and when I put Hope in, I'll just take one of these brews. If you've got an advantage brew, so this is not the correct type of brew for this, but the fact is it's still all about leveling up. I have to put on 2 brews in order to push it past the level, and I can choose other champions in order to kind of push through. As you can see there, there's XP that's given onto that. It's up to you how you structure that, and in some ways you may choose that you want to keep your champions that are lower starage for the point of absorbing to rank up those champions. But just to show you and demonstrate in this particular segment, I'm going to upgrade. As you can see here, level has gone up, stats have gone up. That is cool. Going to skills. Now skills are quite important, especially when you consider they're going to improve the way that they deal in battle. So let's do this now. We're just going to do an upgrade of skill. We've got Hearten, which is now gone to level 2 and pushing the shield plus 5%. Still helpful stuff. And also, if I was choosing to rank up said champion, I would have to choose these other champions to absorb into that champion to make it from a 4-star to a 5-star. The sixth thing is all about progression and rank up of champions. Now you may be looking at this and going, right, well, how do I theoretically rank up? You get to the highest point of the level, so if you've got a 1-star, you've got to get up to level 10. Same thing with the 2nd-star, up to level 20, and then the 3-star, level 30, 4-star, level 40, 5-star, level 50. You get the idea. So now that I've got my Rhyme Beast up to level 40, you then need to get upgrade rank. Then what you do is you put in 4 stars in order to then do the conversion. I'm not going to do that because I'm looking after as well as cultivating these particular 4 stars that I've got here spare. And for those wondering the quick way to level up, I would probably say it would be best either to do one or two things. Either take 1 strong champion and then 3 other weak ones with you in some sort of battle that you know one of your champions can do single-handedly. It just means that they'll be able to level up quickly. But it may be better to do a dungeons grind, especially considering the resources you get back could improve that champion through the means of getting certain types of mastery build, things like scrolls as well as potions in order to ascend. It may be a little bit more value to do that first and then look to get the artifacts from doing the applicable campaign missions. And number 7, we talked about ascending a moment ago, but let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So as you can see here with Rhyme Beast, The fact is, by having ascending, you improve the percentage of certain types of skills, which for example is here. Whether a 7.5% on the skill level 1 for canning, then you've got the ascending, which basically doubles that. I don't know about you, but the further I go into the game, I want to have improved healing, especially with a champion like this. Ascending can be achieved by having these potions. These potions can be obtained from grinding out certain types of dungeons, which it does indicate which ones they are. At number 8, it's mastery builds. Mastery builds can be very specific to you. If you go to the mastery tab, which is right of skills, click up the button, and then you've got some mastery builds. On Rhyme Beast, I've decided to build around something different with a lot of support-based characters that have things like heal. You kind of think, right, that would be more support. Well, I've decided with some of them, because I do have one that is very much defense and support, I'm going down the route of having something that is more offensive and defensive at the same time. I'll give you an example of one I'm working on at the moment, and that is with Jareg, and in particular with this, the Sheltering Scale skill. And this places a 15% continuous heal buff on an ally for 1 turn whenever all ally loses 20% of their max HP in 1 hit. And especially going into boss battles, you're going to take a huge amount of damage in a very quick time frame. So with the masteries, I've decided to then go down the route of doing max HP and as well increase the value of all heal champions cast by 5%. So that's the kind of the structure there with this, and going down the route of the support. So in layman's terms, that should mean that the 15% from here now turns into a 20% based on this particular mastery build. But it's always best to experiment around and see if you get like a warrior and then you want to increase the offensive line, look at the defensive at the same time, especially because they can't do things with support stuff, so healing. So try and play to the advantages of the skills as well as the damage dealing from the particular champions you are dealt with. The 9th feature that I really enjoy is multi-battling. It allows you to grind through certain aspects of campaign without any kind of effort. Say you've got to do a chore of some kind, you want to grind out for 15 battles and you just want to leave it just doing its thing. Say you want to do some ironing and just put this to the side, then you've got that option. You're just gathering that XP, you're gathering those levels, you're gathering resources, maybe even artifacts from certain types of missions you want to grind. So I really do like multi-battling. The next feature that I think is amazing is aura skills. Some champions come with them, others you need to ascend in order to get them. I'll give you an example. Golgarab here has an aura with him that increases speed, and that is in Arena. Now, I want to utilize this aura here, which is on Jareg, and it is increased ally HP in all battles by 33%. That is what I want to use. Next up is dungeons, and dungeons are so important. Something that I'm enjoying grinding out more based on the fact that I want to ascend my champions. I want to increase the stats for them. I want to as well smash out decent masteries, and that can be done by going in different ones. Now, for different potions specific to different types of champions and their particular classes, you will need to go into some of these here. When you want to improve masteries, you'll go into the Minotaur's Labyrinth. But if you want anything else, level up brews, if you want things like artifacts of some kind, then you may need to grind out some of these here. A list of the drops can be found in the left-hand corner. 12th thing to point out is artifacts, and in particular recommended builds around them. If you go to the review section and the recommended artifacts, you'll see that the developer recommends a set to go with certain champions. Now it's up to you how you build artifacts around said champion and whether or not you want to get those set bonuses. But if you're like, well, the stats don't really add up, if I go to total stats, you might go, right, well, the defense for this particular champion isn't very good. So you may opt to then set it with more a defensive base set, or look to mastery builds and build it very differently. And the final feature that I absolutely love is Market. Now I've already picked up something from this, which was an improved artifact on one that I already had. It was a speed-based shield, which was an uncommon, and it was a 3-star, which is a lot better than the other ones that I had, which was only at 1 star and was, well, just wasn't really very good. So I decided to purchase that. Now there are loads of things that do drop into here. You can refresh them, which is going to refresh for me in 7 seconds time. So let's see if anything is going to come into the market that is worth me picking up. Here comes the refresh. And we've got several champions. So there is a Dervish, Herald, and a Tracker. There's a Mystery Shard, there's Gauntlets, and there's an Axeman. Now the Gauntlets are not of a type that I actually need, but still, if something drops in there, you can pick up something. Yes, it's bought by silver, but it still means that you'll be able to improve your artifact. Now I've come to the point in the video where I'm going to be showcasing as well as talking about what I'm planning to do with upgrading, with leveling, as well as strengthening my 5 key champions. I've come to the point where I only need 2 more stages to do the entire campaign. However though, I will need to go back and I will need to get all 3 stars in every single type of mission there is to offer. But obviously that requires the strength of a really strong team, and there are some plans for this. The first thing is I want all 5 units here at the top to get to level 40. 2 of them are already level 40 at the moment, 2 are very close, and 1 is a very, very long way off. With the Shaman, I want to improve artifacts. I want to also look at padding out the masteries a lot more, so that may be putting me into the Minotaur's Labyrinth a bit more as well, and maybe improving the skill side of things, but I'm kind of reserving that especially when it comes to other units which I think are a little bit better for improving their skills for. Also, to a lesser degree, I'm going to be bringing up my Woad Painted. I love some of the skills, in particular Cross Up, which attacks one enemy for 2 turns, has 25% chance to placing a block cooldown skills debuff for 1 turn, but mainly it comes with Undying Fury. That's the best thing. I want to get something that's like reflect damage and see how that kind of works out in a scenario when I go into more difficult content. So that's what I want to do in the future. But it's really got to be with Jereg that I'm going to focus a lot of my attention. Mainly, and number 1 is to ascend him. I want to get this aura, which basically means increasing ally HP in all battles by 33%, which is a huge number. The attack speed one that I've got on at the moment isn't exactly brilliant, especially one here. It's increased ally speed in arena by 23%. Now, I'm not doing arena at the moment. I'm mainly doing campaigns to strengthen my team, so it's not really of use. Yes, it's good if I want to do arena, and that's something we'll maybe talk about in another video. But the fact is, I need something that is really strong around doing campaigns, boss fights, those kind of things. And as well, the next focus point is indeed, after Jereg, to focus on Hope. Getting the ascending skill, especially with the fact that there's just so many cool things on offer, like Holy Storm, attack all enemies, has 50% chance to removing all buffs, which obviously changes based on how it is at the moment, which is has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs. Imagine removing the buffs completely on an enemy, and that could be make or break for you winning that battle. Also, ascending Gogorab could lead to some amazing increases in attack, which I'm really up for. And not to mention, obviously, with Rhyme Beast, I am working towards this being ascended as well, just to improve the continuous heal. I think that once I get this team together, it's going to be great for this kind of support. Very healy, very defensy, very shieldy, but also very well at interacting with debuffs, buff removal, those kind of things. I think it is very much a strong team. But in the future, it will need to diversify. It's just great to have these 5 lead champions that I really want to develop. Maybe a 6th one that's going to come in as well to help out. There we have it. That has been my 2nd installment in my adventure in Raid Shadow Legends. If you do want to pick up the game, go to the link in the description, go to the pinned comment and click the download link for 50k silver, as well as an epic champion when you first start playing the game. Don't forget to follow my playlist located up here. It will just showcase my adventure, things that I've learned, features to look out for, like in this video here. And don't forget to join my clan, Frank's Terror Troop. Yes, Frank's Terror Troop is the alliance to check out. And don't forget to return back soon, because we'll be opening some more epic shards, hopefully getting some amazing champions. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.